Same thing Baba Didibu used to do in Oyo with Ladoja. Today, everything has an end. All those people that used to cheer him up, are they going to check how Adedibu family is doing? No. So when they gather around them, championing them, it is because of land. And if this thing does not end, I will bring out, they're all safe, both in London and in Lagos. It's kept safe, very safe. All the documents are safe in London. And they're in safe hands. All I need is like this, and the whole documents will drop, including those who have sold their own, and who they sold it to, and how they collected the money from bring the change. We're talking of over 8 million square meters of land. And those people I'm talking to know. I have all of them. So I don't want to be pushed to speak about these issues. I want to respect everybody. But the Action People's Party, APP, and lawmakers who are concerned for the need for stability, want this crisis, which is fight over people's wealth and resources, to end. You had a 600 billion naira left. You want him to bring budget, so you chop something. You forgot that we have passed the budget. We have passed the budget. 2025 budget, we have passed it. So you can't ask the state government to present a budget. The only time they can present a budget is after August or thereabout 2026. So what is the basis for the so-called impeachment? If not that somebody wants to blackmail somebody somewhere or harass somebody to get more agreement or more concessions against a sovereign people, has Rivers people become so insignificant that they can't decide their affairs any longer? That those who have ruled them before will hold them hostage? Even the ruling party are not seeing your statement up to now when your governor is under a fresh assault that is based on a ground that is illegal, unknown to law, because we have passed the budget. Mr. President, we led the budget, we passed it. 2025 budget. So there's no basis asking him to represent a budget. You have to speak up. You have a national vice chairman of a party insulting the governor of his party because he got land. You see lawmakers having impeachment because they got land. You see lawyers filing applications because there's a particular lawyer. He's an SN. He got 1 million square meter of land. I will show it if this thing does not stop and what he's doing with them. 1 million square meter. And he's filing frivolous applications left, right, and center. Our institutions are being compromised. As a lover of democracy and soldier of rule of law, I feel this is unnecessary. And these are indices that can lead us to the crisis of 1962, 1963, 1983, and all those crises fermented by desperados who keep hiding under the fact that they claim to be working for the federal government while pursuing their narrow interest. This is about just a small interest to continue to hold the resources and governance of a sovereign people, even when you have no other business being there. So that is why I said it's an advisory. I called you people here today to thank my national chairman who came to admit me into the APP, and also to thank other people who came to Akoko a day before yesterday for my triumphant entry into the APP. And to also clear this fact about the issue of budget presentation. There is no need. It is an illegal call to ask for 2025 budget because the budget has been presented and passed. And this presentation was done on Tuesday, 22 July, 2025. After the president led the budget on 22nd May 2025. So Nigerians, the Rivers State 2025 budget was presented to us federal lawmakers because whenever there's an emergency, the National Assembly takes over. And we passed it. And by passing it, by adopting it by July 22nd, 2025, common sense will tell that 1 year is what is supposed to run. That means it's supposed to run end by July or thereabout 2026. Then a new one will be presented. So how can somebody be asking the man to go and present 2025 budget? Just because you just want an excuse to throw the state into crisis. So I appeal for calm. The things I have today, I don't want to bring it. so that I do not undermine any effort for peace. But if this continues, then I have to bring all the evidences of land racketeering, money laundering, and how they have fueled the crisis, and now have undermined judiciaries, undermined the political parties, and threatened the very foundation of our democracy. So I will tell them to keep it. Don't bring it yet. But if this continues, then the world must know. Our international friend must know. So that those people, when they cross this border, they can be arrested for foreign corrupt practices. This crisis has caused crisis in judiciary, has caused crisis in political parties. It's all related to the crisis both in Labour, both in ADC, both in PDP. Those you see jumping up, all of them jumping up in PDP that fueled the crisis. It was also land fueled. And I challenge any of them to open their mouth and say, "Pim, pim," just say, "Pim." I will bring out your own, including how the people you sold it to paid you and where the money is. Just "Pim, pim" is all you need to say. Who do I start from? Is it Danobi that is helping in fueling the crisis? His company, Clarkson, have received no less over 200,000 square meters of land? Is it Damagu that first ignited the crisis that affected River State and affected the entire PDP? DMG, Safia Damagu, 73 in Maitama 2. I don't want to go into this, because the day I will go into this, the whole country will shake. Because even some of the people you respect, their hands were dipped in it. Even those who use layers and layers of company, don't think that we don't know. We have traced it to the last person, including where it is and where the money it is, the location of the land, how it has been sold. And the president, you may not know. And I say, call me, and I will give you. You may not know the magnitude of what we're talking about. So it's not even about you. It's about some people trying to use the privileged position you gave them to stifle democracy, stifle rule of law, stifle judiciary, stifle individuals. Why? All of them quoting your name. Renewed hope, renewed hope. Because it looks like it's the end thing for certain people. Once they shout it, they feel they can get away with anything they do. But you need to advise them. The whole world, people are now irritated, especially with this new notice of impeachment. Even if you are joking, there are certain things you don't joke with. Why go lie that the man should present 2025 budget? A budget that, Mr. President, you led and we approved. 22nd May, you brought it. And July 22nd, we approved it. 1.4 trillion naira. Passed. So inspiration is around August 2026 or thereabouts. So how are you now accusing the man for being in default? The man didn't make any appointment that requires screening. He reshuffled cabinet and moved people to a general position. He replaced some special advisors. He has not made any statutory appointment. So if those ones that have been made, that benefited them, why are they not talking about it if they say it was wrong? You did local government election, you took everything. The man accepted. Something that if it's me, I would rather hang myself than accept those things. But the man is so humble. He wants peace. And now he's paying through his nose for peace. People are even ridiculing him for supporting peace and for listening to him, Mr. President. And I want the ruling party to watch their back. Their party is going to be fragmented. I have seen salvos fired at the whole national secretary of their ruling party. No respect. No respect at all. Their national secretary. So now they can attack the national secretary because he does not agree to what will help their interest in rivers. So the day Mr. President does not agree, he will also be within the firing range because it's the standard. There's nobody that has not been within that firing once you defeat from helping them. Amechi went through that firing range because they disagreed. Azotambata there's no name they have not called him. What's his name? Peter Odela and his wife. They used to call mommy and daddy and kneel down for. Jonathan. Is he Adamu Muaz? Is he Alimodu Sheriff? Is it Ayo? Just tell me the person that's not within their firing range. How can you be at war with everybody? And then they say, oh, making Fubara a governor is a mistake. Wow. Everything you have done in your life is a mistake. Everybody is a mistake. Except those who are licking your shoe. And those you are serving, who are feeding you. Once you turn your back against them, they are a total mistake. So it's not about the man. It's about nature. I don't want to dabble into the internal issues there, but anything that affects stability of the country's democracy, that affects participatory democracy, that undermines our judiciary, irritates me. And I don't want to care how the person feels about it. Or whether you attack me or try to assassinate me. On this very ground where we sit today, that is where the first slaughter happened of Uncle Dan. Right here, the blood was flowing down this way. In this my compound. That's where those assassins back from Owerri, that's where they slaughtered him. I sit here today as a reminder that people have paid great sacrifice for this our struggle. And I must use every life in me to continue to advance that cause of democracy. And we cannot, because our loved ones were killed right here, shy away from defending and standing in defense of democracy. We are fully prepared now for any offensive to defend ourselves. Yes, we are. Make no mistake about it. Yes, we are. So we'll appeal to our dear president to please intervene before this goes out of hand again. Before people start carrying explosive towards presidential hotel as usual. We can stop this now by telling people to be reasonable. This joke, 1 minute you tell the boys in the House of Assembly, decamp to APC, they will rush and decamp, thinking that they will get cover. When their seat is decamp, they run back and say, we did not decamp again, no. Something they did on TV. Again, they have run and divided themselves into two. Half have decamped again. What is all this abnormality? And our judiciaries are being brought into it to make interpretation that is, some of them weighed. So the cost of this crisis, the cost of the crisis is affecting the finances of the people, is affecting stability of the people, is affecting opposition party, is affecting judiciary, is affecting the political stability, is affecting parliament, is affecting everything. And like I told you, it started small between Akintola and Awolowo in 1962. We let the exchange of gunfire and things were pulled down. 63, 83. The rascality was so much. And democracy just sank like Titanic. As lovers of democracy, that's why we keep shouting. We don't want to return back to those era. And these people doing this are insignificant to the struggles of what our forefathers gave to us. All those they fought by the multiple times for us to have independence with the independence motion of the 50s. All those reconciliation, all those constitutional conference, all those visits to London was to give us a country that we should be proud of, that should be the biggest and the heartbeat of African democracy. And then years after, we're discussing about one man losing a presidential primary, losing his quest to be VP, and then boom, everything must be brought down. That's what we're discussing. Is that why I teach my children? That this is how it's going to be done? And adults cannot speak because they collected land? We should be ashamed of ourselves. That this is what our generation is discussing. And there's so much noise and tension everywhere. For what? Why? Years after practicing democracy, we couldn't make any headway. We mutilate the result. People from fourth position will come to first. Judgment that you don't know where it's coming from will be dropping. Years after the independence. We're supposed to lead Africa. We're supposed to lead the world. We're supposed to be the guiding light, the shining light. Look at Ghana getting the democratic process right. Look at South Africa. We see run around, results will not come for election day, results will be mutilated. What is uploaded is different from what is announced. People who go about belong to 3 political parties at the same time. They cannot be man enough to say, let me go to... Is it not me that wants to move? I move to the Action People's Party, APP. This is my national chairman. We want to rebuild. The hard work and reward for electoral hard work is victory at the polls. And that's what we want to end every vote. But some people cannot. They must either destroy what is existing or hang on to what they did not build. And it's not do or die for us. That's why after the killing here in this compound, we went on exile. And our people elected us. A great honor that our people gave to us. And that's why we carry this so sacred. And our voice continues to be heard as voice of hope. And I want Nigeria to come out from this part. This cannot solve insecurity. This cannot solve financial challenges. This can only escalate the situation in the country and makes the country ungovernable. Other things, some are building in Kano now. Some are different parts of the country. It's just building. If we don't nip these ones completely, other ones will escalate. And we have so much insecurity in the country. And you cannot bring somebody to come and eat from your plate, then he will scatter it. In Igbo, Mr. President, you brought him to partake. All he brought was 50-something thousand votes that they struggled to mutilate. If you see the result sheet, even you say will not be proud of what they did. 50-something thousand. And I can tell you, Mr. President, this night, that you have overpaid for it. You gave them a job with which they have empowered all their people, empowered their followers, and using it to ferment trouble. You have helped greatly. But let them not cost you your presidency with the tension they are building all over the country in the name of helping you, while in actual fact, they are trying to help themselves to seize what is not their own. They're all over the place. They are not bringing followers. Rather, they are scaring people, creating tension, making people believe that the vote will not count. How do you make a people believe the vote will not count and you still want stability? It's not going to be possible. Because people will start looking for alternative. So, in summary of my briefing this evening, which I hope should be the last, as I do not intend to be disturbed in this village where I am with my people here in the great ancient city of Akokwa and Idato Nation, the great Wabossi, Mbanasa and Arondizo clan. I do not want to be disturbed here again, hearing these tensions left, right, and center. I want to enjoy my stay here in Akokwa. Let all these things be resolved, so that I do not bring out what can cause so much crisis. Because most of them go to the very root of money laundering, corruption, racketeering, that has influenced certain decisions. And like I said before, different arms of government were involved. I do not want us to go there. Mr. President, I do not want us to go there. The best I can do is to send them to you for you to act. If these people can be called to order. We want peace, we want stability. So in concluding, I called you all to inform you, as you already were, for those who didn't attend, that I have decamped from PDP to Action People's Party, APP, the party with the logo of the elephant, led by Barrister Ugochinyere. And that I intend to seek any further political aspiration, whichever position that my people wants me to go, under the banner of the APP. And working with our comrade brothers, some in the House of Reps, some former Rep members who are also going to decamp in the coming days, and our leader here in the state, Mazi Chimamanda, who has also decamped, that will work in every electoral vote. Because we believe in the sacred principle of party-president democracy rooted in the transparency of the ballot. And that also, that the impeachment notice is another distraction and an unprovoked attack to destabilize peace and undermine the effort of the president to ensure that peace reigns in Rivers. That the basis for those new notices are baseless, unconstitutional, especially the allegation that there was no budget. And that as a federal lawmaker, I participated in the consideration of the 2025 Rivers State budget, which was laid by Mr. President on 22nd May 2025, which was considered and adopted by us on 22nd July 2025 in a report led by our leader, Julius Ihomberry. And the budget estimate that we approve is total 1,485,662,592,444 naira only. That is the budget, and the budget will expire around July, August 2026. That is when the governor of Rivers, Governor Seun Fubara, is expected to have presented a new budget. So the directive not to come and present budget is so childish, because there's no budget that is supposed to be presented to you. So why are you suspending him from presenting 2026 budget? It's not yet time for that. It's not yet time for that. And that it's high time we call these boys to order to draw a line between their servitude to individual and bastardization of institution. You are adjourned to 28 January. Somebody calls you to run back, you run back again, and Saturday before you sit down thereabout, and you just issued impeachment notice just to destabilize the place. Because I believe, in my own understanding, that maybe somebody thinks that if we serve this notice, tension will inflame everywhere, crisis will inflame everywhere, then they say, okay, come back to the table, offer this, don't do this, don't go for this. No, that's blackmail. That's blackmail. And that these guys who are doing this have been collecting land as a motivation for their action. And they have all their land documents, including those who have sold their own. And that most party leaders and chieftains, both in the APC and both in the PDP and other arms of government, have been highly compromised with this land. That when people speak, you ask them, actually, how many square meters do you have? And that because of my respect to the president, I will intend not to list these beneficiaries of over 9 million square meters of land that have been bastardized to these individuals and their companies, which has fueled this onslaught against democracy, that have put our judiciary under pressure, put our political system under pressure, that I hope that this crisis will be resolved immediately, or else I will be forced to produce this evidence of money laundering, of racketeering, of corruption, and how they were linked to how this crisis have undermined the judiciary, undermined the parliament, undermined the democratic process, and compromised the opposition party. And I will take it and give it even to the international community to just get those people as enemies of democracy. But I do not want us to get to that point. And that is why I cut short my rest here in Akokwa to speak to them, because I know they are listening to me. That all I ask of all of you is let peace reign. Let us go to the polls when the time comes, and whosoever wins, let him take. We cannot burn down our institutions and our democracy in furtherance of interests of individuals. And that I have gone around the whole world. I have seen that that is not the headlines I see in New York Times or in LA Times. The former governor of New York chasing his predecessor, or the former this person chasing this person, or governors who now live in Abuja state of their states. I've been in Washington many times. I don't see U.S. governors running like house boys all over Washington or Trump. I can't even imagine when last I saw 2 or 3 governors around Trump. But here, people will leave whatever they're supposed to do and be doing eye service, filtering away their state resources, filtering away local government resources, and left their core responsibility. And that's why there's so much insecurity all over the place. Most of our problems today in Nigeria is not even caused by federal government. It is caused by the failure of leadership by some of these governors who think that the only way, whether former or present, is to continue to run around in sycophantic way. So, Mr. President, the tax is on your table. You are in the party of the majority, and most of these actors are working for you. Call them to order, that let them not take us the path of the 1982 crisis between Akintola and Awolowo, all the 63 crises, all the 83 crises, which all had severe consequences for democracy. So I appeal for calm from Rivers people. I appeal for calm from the contending parties, that as lovers of democracy, these issues can be resolved without us going through the same path that led to loss of life, bombing, destruction, pressure on judiciary. Those who have benefited from the land bazaar, enjoy your land in peace, and do not provoke the stability of the country, or else, like I said before, I will release those evidences of corruption, those evidences of money laundering, those evidences of racketeering, and how they are connected to the parliament, to the judiciary, and the core beneficiaries, for Nigerians to understand that this crisis is not about anything in the interest of the people, but men who are highly compromised and who can go to any length to appreciate those who have compromised them to the detriment of our institution. I want to thank Nigerians. I want to thank the national chairman of the Action People's Party, APP, Barry Ugochinyere, who is here with us in Akokwa, the home of warriors. And also want to thank Idato people who also across the camera watching me, who always keep vigil with me here, and our security agencies who also helping to maintain vigilance here so that the massacre that happened here last time does not happen again. I thank you all Nigerians, and I ask for peace, peace, and nothing but peace. Thank you all, and God bless.